This week, we spoke with Josh Will of Virtus. We talked about real estate and what it means for you as an investor making better wealth decisions. Did you know that you don't necessarily have to buy a property to buy real estate?
This is Make Better Wealth Decisions, a podcast about financial blind spots, decision making, and how the reality of higher rates, global tensions, and tariff instability impact your investments. I'm your host, John DeGuy, a portfolio manager with Design Securities in Toronto.
Real estate investing is perhaps the most talked about and fretted about element of investing in the country. I can't think of anything else that people are as concerned about as a life decision, as a lifestyle decision, relative to anything else that they could be doing with their money. I've had numerous guests who talk about how young people especially are having a hard time getting into the real estate market and how they have to think about what their life choices will be in terms of being renters versus owners, and lamenting how it's just so much harder to buy real estate because real estate prices have gone up relative to what their parents and grandparents have had to pay when they purchased their home, and thereby making private real estate investing nearly impossible for an entire generation, and in these days, maybe even two generations. In speaking with Josh Will, we talked about private real estate in a different way. We talked about how you can buy it in a small, chewable chunk by buying securitized real estate, by buying a portion of a product, an offering memorandum product, a mutual fund, exchange traded fund that buys real estate properties, and all you do is you buy a portion of the units of that product. The basic point here is you too can be a real estate owner, even if you don't own property that's in your name, by buying investments that invest in real estate. Now, as everyone knows, real estate is a great diversifier. It tends to be weakly and sometimes even negatively correlated to stocks and bonds. So putting some real estate into your investment portfolio makes sense, even if you already are a homeowner. But that seems to be especially useful for people who are not homeowners. If you're not a homeowner, then number one, if you wanted to buy real estate, this is a way to do so. And number two, if there are in fact diversification benefits, then this is a way to get access to that diversification that you would have had if you were a homeowner that you don't have because you can't afford to buy your own property. So finding ways to get into the real estate market is a wonderful way to make a better wealth decision, because it allows you to get access to an asset class that you might not otherwise have access to. The bottom line in the end is this. If you are a person who thinks real estate is a good investment, but for whatever reason cannot get into the real estate market because of current conditions and the improbability of your ever being able to have a home of your own, you can still buy real estate by buying into things that are chewable, that you can buy in $5,000 or $10,000 chunks, where you can buy a basket of a portion of different properties that are diversified geographically, that are diversified. Sometimes they're commercial, sometimes they're residential, sometimes they have some other use. So you can get a wide variety of real estate that you can own to participate in the real estate market, even if it doesn't put a roof over your head.
This podcast is not to be construed as offering specific investment advice. Please consult a qualified advisor before acting. My books, Stand Up to the Financial Services Industry and Bullshift, are available online. If you'd like to meet to discuss how the topics in this podcast affect you directly, please visit my website.